He offered her shelter. She gave his family love. What began as kindness turned into destiny. Because sometimes the people we save end up saving us. The evening was cold, and the streets shimmered under the glow of weak yellow lamps. A young woman named Nia sat by an old bus stop, hugging a thin blanket around her shoulders. Her shoes were worn out, her hair messy from days without proper rest. She watched people walk by. Some glanced at her with pity, others turned their faces away. For weeks, she had been sleeping outside a closed bakery, using cardboard as her bed. Hunger had become a familiar friend, and hope felt like a stranger she once knew. That night, as she leaned against the cold metal bench, a black SUV stopped across the street. The sound of its door opening made her lift her head. A tall man stepped out, dressed in a long dark coat. His name was Jordan, a billionaire whose face had appeared on television many times, though Nia didn't recognize him. He walked toward her slowly, his steps confident but calm. "You shouldn't be out here alone," he said, his voice deep but kind. Nia gave a weak laugh. "Trust me, I don't exactly have a choice." Jordan looked at her closely. "You don't have anywhere to go?" She shook her head. "No, not anymore." He sighed, glancing at his car before speaking again. "I'm not sure if this is crazy, but I think I can help you. My kids, they need someone around. A mother figure. And maybe, just maybe, you need a place to stay." Nia blinked, confused. "You don't even know me." "I know enough," he replied softly. "Sometimes help doesn't need a background check." Nia stared at the man, unsure whether to laugh or run. Offers like that didn't come from strangers, especially not at night, especially not from rich men with expensive cars. Her fingers gripped her blanket tighter. "You're serious?" she asked in disbelief. Jordan nodded. "Completely. My children lost their mother 2 years ago. I've tried hiring nannies, but none of them stayed long. They need warmth, not just supervision." Nia hesitated. "And you think I can give them that?" He smiled faintly. "You look like someone who's been through enough to understand what care really means." She looked down at her trembling hands. "I don't even know how to be around kids anymore. I used to help my sister with hers, but that was a long time ago." Jordan stepped closer, but kept his tone gentle. "You don't have to know everything right away. You just need to be yourself. I can handle the rest." Her eyes darted to his car again. Every instinct told her it could be dangerous. But something in his voice, calm, steady, almost tired, made her pause. She didn't sense threat, only sincerity wrapped in quiet sadness. "What's the catch?" she finally asked. "No catch," Jordan replied. "You stay at my place, take care of my kids, and in return, I make sure you have food, clothes, and a room of your own." Nia exhaled slowly, her voice breaking. "I haven't slept in a real bed in months." "Then let's fix that tonight," Jordan said, motioning toward the car. For a long moment, she didn't move. Then, clutching her small bag, she stood up and followed him, still half convinced she might wake up and find it was all a dream. The ride was quiet at first. Nia kept glancing out the window, watching the city lights fade behind them. Jordan's hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, though his face stayed calm. "You don't have to be afraid," he said softly. "I'm not afraid," she whispered, though her trembling fingers said otherwise. "I can drop you off anywhere if you change your mind." She shook her head. "No. It's just strange. No one's ever offered me kindness without asking for something back." Jordan glanced at her for a moment. "Then let this be the first time." When they reached his home, Nia gasped. The house was huge. Tall glass walls, warm lights glowing through curtains, and a fountain at the gate. It looked like something from a magazine. She hesitated at the door, suddenly aware of her torn jacket and dirty shoes. "It's fine," Jordan said, noticing her worry. "You're safe here." Inside, the air smelled of cinnamon and lemon polish. 2 children peeked from the staircase, a boy of about 7 and a girl around 10. "Dad, who's that?" the girl asked. Jordan smiled. "This is Miss Nia. She'll be staying with us for a while." The boy frowned. "Another nanny?" Jordan's face softened. "No, Liam. Not a nanny. A friend. The girl tilted her head. She looks tired. Nia forced a small smile. I've had a long day, sweetheart. Jordan guided her upstairs. You can rest first. Tomorrow, we'll talk about everything. As she walked into the guest room, her eyes widened. The bed looked like a cloud, covered in white sheets and soft pillows. She sat down slowly, afraid to ruin it. For the first time in months, tears rolled down her cheeks, not from hunger or fear, but relief. Morning came with the smell of pancakes. Nia blinked awake to the sound of laughter downstairs. She washed her face, brushed her hair with her fingers, and stepped carefully into the bright kitchen. Jordan was flipping pancakes while the kids sat at the table, arguing about syrup. Good morning, she said softly. 3 heads turned. The girl grinned. You woke up. Dad said you might sleep all day. Jordan smiled. Coffee. She nodded, sitting at the edge of the table. The boys studied her. Do you have kids? Nia froze.
No.
Not yet. He nodded seriously. Then maybe you can borrow us for now. Laughter filled the kitchen. It was awkward but warm, something she hadn't felt in a long time. Days turned into weeks. Nia began helping with breakfast, school drop-offs, and story time. The children grew attached quickly, especially the girl, Ella, who followed her everywhere. Can I sleep in your room tonight? Ella asked one evening. Why? Nia smiled. You tell stories better than Daddy. Jordan, standing by the doorway, chuckled.
Ouch.
My storytelling crown just got stolen. Nia laughed softly. Maybe we can share it. As Ella drifted to sleep, Jordan leaned against the doorframe. She hasn't smiled this much in years, he said quietly. Nia turned to him. She's sweet. They both are. His eyes lingered on her face, then he nodded. You've brought something peaceful back into this house. One rainy night, Nia heard Jordan's voice in the hallway. He was on a call. No, I'm not ready for another relationship, he said sharply. The kids come first. She froze, unsure whether to move. After he hung up, she stepped out. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. He smiled tiredly. Don't worry. It's the same conversation with my business partner every week. Your partner thinks you need someone?
Yes.
But I think we already have enough to heal from. Their eyes met for a moment longer than expected. Then Jordan cleared his throat. You should rest. Nia nodded, her heart strangely unsettled. Weeks passed, and the rhythm of their days grew comfortable. Nia helped with homework, cooked dinner, and even planted flowers in the backyard. The children adored her. One evening, Ella ran to her crying. Daddy yelled at someone on the phone again. Nia found Jordan pacing in the study. You okay? She asked softly.
He sighed.
Just business. I hate how people only see money, not heart. Maybe that's why you helped me, she said gently. He looked at her surprised. Maybe. You reminded me what real kindness looks like. Rumors began to swirl among the staff. The gardener whispered to the cook whispered to the driver. The boss's feelings for the new lady. Nia noticed the stares but ignored them. She focused on the children. But one afternoon, when she was folding laundry, Jordan entered quietly. We need to talk, he said.
About what?
He hesitated. People are saying things. I don't want you uncomfortable. Nia smiled faintly. I've lived through worse than gossip. He nodded. Still, I don't want you to feel unsafe here. I don't, she said softly. I haven't felt this safe in years. That night, during dinner, Liam asked innocently, Daddy, do you like Miss Nia? Jordan nearly choked on his drink.
What?
Why would you say that? Liam shrugged. You look happy when she's around. Nia tried to hide her smile. Eat your vegetables, young man. Ella giggled. I think Daddy does like you. Jordan looked away, his ears turning red. All right, that's enough matchmaking for one meal. The children laughed while Nia's cheeks warmed. Something inside her stirred, something she hadn't felt in a long, long time. Later that night, Jordan found Nia on the balcony, watching the city lights. They're not wrong, you know, he said quietly. Nia turned, startled. About what? He walked closer, eyes steady. You've changed this home. You've changed me. Her voice trembled. Jordan, he smiled gently. Don't answer. I just needed to say it. For a long moment, they stood there in silence, the night air wrapping around them. But peace never lasts forever. One morning, a woman arrived at the gate. Tall, elegant, wearing expensive perfume. She introduced herself as Clara, Jordan's late wife's sister. I heard you've replaced my sister already, she sneered. Nia froze. I think you're mistaken. Clara looked her up and down. A homeless girl? Living here? Taking her place? Jordan appeared, his face darkening. That's enough, Clara. I'm family, she snapped. And I have a right to know what's happening in this house. Jordan took Nia's hand. What's happening here is peace, something you've never brought. After Clara left, Nia sat quietly in the garden. Maybe I shouldn't stay, she whispered. Jordan frowned. Don't let her words undo what we've built. She's right about one thing, Nia said. I don't belong in your world. He knelt beside her. You belong where you're valued. And that's here. Her eyes filled with tears. I don't want to cause trouble. You're not trouble, Nia, he said softly. You're the reason we started smiling again. Days passed, but Clara's words lingered. Nia avoided Jordan, speaking only when necessary. The children noticed. Why are you sad again? Ella asked one night. Nia forced a smile. I'm not sad, sweetheart. Yes, you are, the girls said stubbornly. Daddy's sad too. You both look at each other like you lost something. That night, Jordan knocked on Nia's door. We can't keep pretending nothing changed, he said quietly. Nia turned away. I don't want to ruin your life.
He sighed.
You saved it, Nia. The tension broke when Liam fell sick. Fever gripped him for days, and Nia barely slept, sitting by his bedside with a cold cloth on his forehead. Jordan watched her, eyes full of gratitude. You haven't rested. I can't rest while he's like this, she said softly. When Liam finally opened his eyes and whispered, Mom? Nia froze. Tears filled her eyes. Jordan placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. He sees what we all see. From that day, something shifted. Jordan stopped hiding his affection. He would glance at her longer, linger near her in the kitchen, find excuses to talk. One evening, he found her sketching flowers in a notebook. You draw? He asked, surprised. She nodded. I used to paint before life got complicated. Maybe it's time to start again, he said. She smiled faintly. Maybe. Weeks turned into months. Nia began teaching Ella how to braid hair and helped Liam build wooden toys. Laughter filled every corner of the mansion again. One afternoon, Jordan invited them all to the garden. I have something to say, he began. He looked at Nia. You've given my children back their smiles. You've given me peace I thought I lost. I don't care what the world says. I care about us. Nia's heart pounded. Jordan, he smiled. I love you, Nia. Tears slipped down her cheeks as she whispered, I love you too. Over the following months, Jordan and Nia's relationship blossomed. They faced judgment from outsiders, media, family, and friends, but they stood strong. Clara tried again to separate them by spreading lies about Nia's past, revealing she once lived in a shelter. Instead of hiding, Nia owned her story publicly, saying, My past doesn't define me. It refined me. The public admired her honesty. Jordan proposed to her in the same garden where she once cried in doubt. The children were the ring bearers, cheering louder than anyone. Their wedding was simple, filled with love, laughter, and quiet promises. After marriage, Nia began a foundation for homeless women, providing shelter and education. No one should ever feel forgotten, she said during her first press speech. Jordan stood beside her, proud. Years later, their home was full of light and warmth. Ella and Liam grew into kind, confident adults. They never forgot the woman who had walked into their lives with nothing and given them everything. Nia would often stand on the same balcony, remembering that cold night when a stranger offered her hope. One evening, Jordan wrapped his arms around her as they watched the sunset. Do you ever think about that night? He asked. Every day, Nia said softly. It reminds me that sometimes miracles come disguised as people who stop when everyone else keeps walking. He kissed her forehead. You were never homeless, Nia. You just hadn't found home yet. She smiled, resting her head on his chest as the sky turned golden. For the first time, everything she'd lost, peace, love, belonging, finally made sense. Because sometimes love isn't about what you have. It's about who reaches out when you have nothing at all. And please don't forget to tap the bell, so every new folktale reaches you first. Tell us in the comments what you think about the story. And tell us where you're watching from. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this beautiful story with friends, family, and loved ones so they too can remember.